Hello, everybody. Welcome to the LOVEHOUR Lovecast on the road.
In Barcelona, Spain.
We are in Barcelona, Spain. We are in Doe and Tony's room.
We hijacked their room.
Thank you guys so much for allowing us to use your space. So what we want to do is welcome our guest, Tami Frederecks. She is the wife of Jason Frederecks, and
from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Where are you from? What part of Puerto Rico? Huh? Humacao. Miguel Angel. Who's Miguel Angel? What's his last name? Miguel, the boxer from Puerto Rico. Cotto. Oh. He's from Caguas, Puerto Rico. This is Juju's mom.
Yes.
Juju monster.
And so from the Head and Shoulders, the best viewed and listened to podcast has been the one we did with Jason. So thank you guys so much for loving and supporting that episode. And by popular demand, everyone wanted a part 2 with Tami's perspective and point of view. Kevin has decided that he will fully engage.
Full of my feelings. I'm not gonna hold back any
You're gonna lean into.
I'm leaning into my feelings. This is a new month, a new approach, and I'm not fighting it no more.
Okay, so we'll see how this.
Full vulnerability. Whether I cry or not, I am feeling my feelings.
Okay, I'm here for it. You don't have to cry to be vulnerable.
If I be tired for the rest of the day, then it's your fault. I'm still blaming you though. Don't think that.
I know everyone. The first comment on YouTube is I'm mad at Melissa too.
Yes.
But.
Yes.
So we start every episode as always with the this or that question, and they are submitted by our fans. Which thank you guys so much for submitting this or that. If you're interested in submitting a this or that or this question, feel free to email us at hello@thelovehour.com. I'll make sure to include it in the description box because you guys are always asking us to do that. So I will do that, included in the description box. So the question is, I don't want to read all of this because this is quite a long email. But she wanted to submit basically a this or that question based off movies that she sees. She loves the podcast, Everything Kev on Stage Studios, which is so interesting to me that Kev on Stage Studios is starting to be a branded thing.
Yes, and that's the agents were like, you gotta shut it down and keep Everything Kev on Stage, and I was like, nah, man, I got a vision. Kev on Stage Studios is gonna be more than just me.
Right.
So I'm gonna keep it up, even if I get my comments back.
It's starting to. I feel like everyone on the platform is starting to have a face. Joshua's behind the camera, no one ever sees him. But now when we go to the shows, so even when we go to shows nowadays, and Joshua either comes on stage or what. Even after the show, when we're taking pictures, people, Joshua's become a figure.
Everybody loves Josh.
Yeah,
he's a lovable guy.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the question. I know. I'm sorry. I was gonna go back and then I went back to this. He was the first person I liked on the tour last year.
You liked? Oh, you didn't even know Josh either.
I didn't know anybody. I knew everybody in passing.
From being at ADB sometimes.
Anybody, right? Okay.
What made you connect with Josh?
Because he was nicest. Okay,
that's why he was the first employee at Kev on Stage Studios. I was like, if anybody can do it.
Okay, so this is what we have. She wanted to submit that or this question based off movies, always showing the people who choose the perfect man or woman, but they never show the other side of the story. What if the perfect man or woman had terrible sex? Here's my question. Would you rather be able to be married and have wonderful, great, stimulating sex without love, or be married and have love without wonderful, great, stimulating sex? In the love-filled marriage, you adore your spouse and connect with them on every level. You can have sex, but it will suck for both of you, even if you're sexually attracted to them, and even if you begin having sex feeling aroused.
Mm-hmm.
There will be absolutely nothing either of you can do to get off, which does open a door for potential cheating, but you will always have love and an undying, healthy emotional connection. In the loveless marriage, you forfeit all other connections with your spouse. You are sexually attracted to them. They will never cheat on you because you have great sex. However, there's absolutely nothing there is absolutely nothing else between the two of you. Just great sex and financial security. I freaking love y'all. Have fun with this one.
Easy for me.
Okay, go.
Love terrible sex.
Love and terrible sex.
Yeah, because to me, sex, although I enjoy it immensely, I like to feel it. I like to feel it so much. I like the feeling and touch. I like the sex.
Did you just make a whole song?
I like the sex. But time-wise, it is a very small
over the course of
amount
your
of
relationship.
time. Yes. And the amount of time having the sex. I got nothing to prove. We got something we want to do. We got a goal to achieve. Once your goal is achieved, we got a goal I want to achieve. Once my goal is achieved, sleep is the next goal. It ain't going to be before you long, amen? Here for a good time, not a long time, amen? But the rest of your marriage is everything.
Yeah.
It is really all the time. There's traveling in Spain and London and Amsterdam. You're not having sex all the time. Mm-hmm. Even on vacation sex, if you're on vacation for a week, you're not having sex every day.
Right.
All day.
Right.
You want to see the city? I'm going on a hop on, hop off tour after that. It's going to be 2.5 hours of greatness. If we have bad sex after that, I still have a lot of good memories. And to be in a loveless marriage that just has good sex, there's not enough sex to make the rest of it worth it. You just be like, yeah, but, and I don't even know how you could have good sex if you had no other connections now. Because so much about sex is trust, commitment, freedom, all that stuff is what makes sex good. I feel like that's the biggest difference between like having sex before marriage when I felt convicted and bad about it and fear of disease and pregnancy. And then when you get married and you're committed to one person and you don't have the fear of disease and pregnancy as much. Because some people, you know, when we first got married, we didn't really want kids at the moment because we didn't have no money dollars. You know what I mean? So there's so much freedom in having the rest of your relationship be beautiful. And then the sex is a result of it's a fruit of a well-fed, beautiful tree.
But in the thing, in the scenario, you don't have.
Yeah, I know in real life.
Okay.
But in this scenario, I'd rather still have terrible sex and a great overall. Yes. No questions asked.
Tami?
Oh, that's answering.
Yeah, girl, you on the podcast, you on all parts. You just try not to cry. That's all you do.
All
I see you right now. You thinking about what the first real question is and how you can not cry. We talking about sex. Puerto Rican P and the G. Or P and Puerto Rican the G.
I'm with Kev.
You're with Kev.
Yeah.
That's it, you don't want to expound?
She don't want to expound because you try not to cry. You need to feel your feelings too.
No.
Yes.
That's it. I think I agree with you as well. What's interesting though is that I've been saying this on the podcast and I saw it somewhere and I was like, oh my gosh, that's way more succinct than anything I've been saying. That some people find through emotional intimacy, you find sexual intimacy. And for some people, through sexual intimacy, you find emotional intimacy. Yeah. And so it's interesting to hear the importance of that, like, emotional intimacy in terms of a whole relationship over I would think that the way that you find intimacy is sexual through sexual intimacy.
It is.
Okay.
It is. But in a whole scheme of things, I since that's not part of the scenario, I wouldn't want just great sex and bad everything else.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Because we have good sex, say we have great sex this morning, right? But then we spend the rest of the day arguing. I'm gonna think about the arguments and how I was upset more than the good sex. Like, man, she get on my nerves. You know what I mean? Like, you spend more time thinking about the bad stuff than the good stuff. So I don't think that could outweigh the other parts. Because we have a lot of great memories, and for the most part, the great memories I think about between us aren't sex related.
Sure.
It's like, remember the time we did this and how much we laughed and the first time we saw this. It's not like, remember the time she did that for the first time. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't come across your mind as much, nearly as much. I only think about sex when we're about to have sex, like the other sex stuff we did, or right after. But in the middle of the day, I'm not just like, man, remember that thing in 2006? She was crazy. I was crazy.
Okay, we're moving on. Because, child, you be... Okay, so we're moving on. What we want to do today is talk about part 2, which is... I don't even know how we're going to start. So maybe I'll, like, low-key recap where we ended with Jay. And then maybe we can go into your thoughts and, like, your perspective. Like, fill in the gaps of what he left off. But before we do that, really quickly, we want to tell you. So we sell. Oh, none of us have a merchandise shirt on.
All mine are dirty. We got to do laundry today.
Oh yeah,
I've
we
been
do
wearing
have to
them
do
crazy.
Yeah,
they all have a stinky.
Stinky. Right. Yeah. I smell a little musty.
Yeah, I look musty.
So we need to wash our merch, but if you...
We're getting ready to have a sale though, so that's perfect.
We are. So we through KevOnStage, of course, we sell merch, all of our shirts that we have. Say What I Got Hands, all different types of merchandise. And one great platform that we support and endorse, and they support and endorse the podcast, is ShipStation. If you are an entrepreneur, merchandise is actually one of the easiest ways to get like your name and your branding out there, and it's low-hanging fruit in terms of money to receive. So definitely think about starting your own like store or whatever have you, and use ShipStation as a platform. ShipStation is great because it integrates with different selling platforms such as Amazon, such as Etsy, such as your own website, such as we use Eventbrite. We use what do we use to sell the shirts on? Shopify. Thank you very much. I was like Eventbrite. We use Shopify, so it's able to integrate with whatever platform, more likely whatever platform you already have that you're using, and then it just becomes one central portal for all of your information to take place. It simplifies your shipping. It simplifies the time. Because one thing about merchandise, though, it is time consuming. So every bit and every little bit of time that you can save, money that you can save, of course, is important, because time is money and dollars are money. So no matter where you're selling, whether it's Amazon, Etsy, your own website, ShipStation brings all your orders into one simple interface. You can even run it from your phone. It's really easy and clear, and also offer some really cool features like being able to track sales trends, which is really nice. Being able to see what's selling, what's not selling, during what peak seasons, what times you have traffic on your website, all of those things. And right now, the Love Hour listeners can try ShipStation free for 60 days when you use our promo code LOVE. There's absolutely no risk. You can start your free trial without even entering your credit card info. Just visit ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in LOVE. Again, you're going to visit ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in LOVE. That's ShipStation.com. Then enter promo code LOVE. ShipStation.com. Make ship happen. Okay. So
I just want to let you know, Tammy is so tense.
I know.
Relax, mama. Feel your feelings.
I feel bad that you feel so nervous. Don't be nervous.
She is holding it together.
Okay.
Let it flow.
So
stop.
I know. He's so annoying.
Feel my love. Come on.
I'm actually happy she's here.
She's already crying.
I know, she's already feeling.
You haven't even talked about anything.
Stop it. My brows. I know, I got you, bro.
Okay.
I hate emotions.
I know, me too.
Why are you hugging me?
Stop, Kevin. You're making it worse.
Kev's revenge
Let
for
me
all the
have
crying.
it. I want her to feel
I hate
love.
Kevin.
I'm here for you.
I have makeup on.
I know.
You're gonna make it come out. Stop it.
You wanted the episode?
Don't do this to her.
So, if you haven't watched Jason's episode in Sickness and Health, you absolutely should. But
It's like an episode of This Is
I
Us.
shouldn't have. You know what? You know what
You lived it.
So,
Did you just watch it? Oh man, now it makes a lot of sense.
No.
Oh, okay.
So in that episode, we discussed Jason is Kevin's brother, Tammy's husband. He was diagnosed with multiple myeloma back in 2017, and we went through the journey of how he found out, through his diagnosis, through his treatment, and towards the end of the episode, we kind of touched on the relationship, or the state of the relationship between he and Tammy. And so I think that's kind of where I want to pick up, but maybe we could backtrack a little bit and talk about like the phone call or text or whatever it was that you received upon getting his diagnosis. What was going through your mind in context of the state of your relationship, and then how
It's a good start.
Okay, and then how that, like how your relationship then transformed, or the highs and the lows or whatever.
Okay. So we were in communication a lot. Like we talked all the time and stuff on the phone. And then when they first got in the accident, I was on the phone with them like, oh my God, somebody just hit me. I'm like, what? Like we're talking about all of that. And Yeah, and then he was like, he told me Julian's head was hurting. You know, his back was always hurting, so he was like, but it's hurting a little bit more than normal. We're just gonna get checked out. Da da da. I'm like, okay. Then he would keep me posted throughout, because you know ER visits take forever. Yeah. So you're just like, just let me know. You know, it's like Julian's fine. They gave him fruit snacks. You know, like he's good.
He's healed.
Yeah, right. And you know, but they want to do more tests on my back, and I'm like, well, good. You get it taken care of. You know what I mean? And then so like the process was a while. Like he said, they, you know, had to inpatient him. He's like, now they want to keep me. Like, what are we gonna do with Julian? Julian wants to stay. I talked to Julian. I'm not leaving yet. You know, like it was just like, oh god. So it was a long process before he got it. But what was messed up, I don't think he said it. What was messed up was they were telling him stuff that they thought it was. So he was, you're going through, oh my god, leukemia. Oh my god, like, you know, they were saying, well, it could be. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So then, you know, we were in Chicago. Kayla was at the, what is it? The Nike tournament. She was in it. It's huge. Like people come from all over. It's big Nike. She was in it. We were there, and when he finally called with the diagnosis, and I'm like, we're on the court, you know, and we were walking to the next into the next court or whatever, and it was like everything was like, you know, he wanted me to, you know, like I had to talk to Kev, you know, and we all were like, her and I were standing there like, you know, so it was that moment was just like, okay, now it's real, you know. Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just going to say, so for clarity, if you didn't watch the episode, at this point in your marriage, you guys were separated.
Right.
So you were still having conversations, have children together, summertime.
Yeah.
Right? So Jude was spending time with Jay. Jude is their baby son. He's Puerto Rican and black. And Kayla is the next kid.
She went later by herself.
Okay. So you were in Chicago when you hear this, and Jason is in North Carolina.
Right.
So I just want to set the stage that they're not like on the phone. They're going to see each other today.
No.
So what was it like? I don't want to step on your thing list, but for me, Jay talked a little bit about this, but this is the thing I want to know the most about. What was it like having that separation? And you know, I know you're mad at each other. You guys probably have arguments or whatever. You're thinking about ending this whole thing,
right?
And then you get this news,
right?
Is it immediate? Like, oh my god, does everything else go away, or does this like just jump to the top of your list of things you think about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be. I want to hear your answer.
It was a lot of mixed emotions.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, it was a lot. My first reaction was to go there.
Go to North Carolina. Okay. That little whisper was so much more anger than a yell. It's like, I hate you. I hate you guys. You know what's funny? We never talked about this either.
I know.
I didn't talk to Jason, and I didn't talk to, and we've talked about a lot in our lives.
Yeah.
But this was just
I talked to you guys more.
You did.
Oh,
I
about
said
this.
That.
Yeah.
100%.
But you, Tami, like, while you gather your emotions,
Thank you.
Tami was the one, like, Kev, when Jace first started on the tour, Jay's not as strong as he will let on. Make sure he eats. Make sure he's drinking water. Make sure if he doesn't feel like drinking water, he drinks Gatorade. Make sure he stays away from fried food. He's gonna try to eat what y'all eat. So if y'all are eating fried fish, he's gonna try to eat fried fish. It's gonna make him sick. So I was like, and luckily I was trying to lose weight. I'm always trying to lose weight at all times. So, you know, we're going to Whole Foods a lot more. And John, by the way, your husband, not a big fan of healthy food. No. He Whole Foods again. Whole Foods has good stuff.
Yeah.
So Tam was more, and just Tam's nature in life is a caretaker. She would, if me and Melissa want a trip to be on the world tour for a year, she would be like, okay, the kids can stay with me.
Right.
So I feel like that part of you has always been prevalent, and then when that news came, you went to like, overdrive on
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But tell us more about those mixed emotions.
Yeah, because I was definitely, everybody was getting on my nerves. I don't care what none of y'all say. When I say this is what's gonna happen and he gonna eat this, y'all gonna shut up. Everybody gonna shut up. No, but yeah, it was a lot of mixed emotions. I literally wanted to just go, like, but I had a new great job. I was still trying to figure out, like, I literally was like, should I just move back? What should I do? You know what I mean? Like, I needed to help him because I'm like, ain't nobody else gonna help him. Don't nobody know him enough, and he ain't gonna listen. And you know what I mean? Like, I need, if he's gonna get through this, I need to do this. You know, and how? You know, so it was a lot of that. And then I would say even throughout the process, I would go up and down. Like, I'd look at him and be like, "You make me sick." You know,
but you also are sick. So
yes,
that
and
makes
then
me
it's
sad.
like he would say something, I'd be like, "I can't even punch you."
You are
I'm
so
gonna
lucky.
make you a
You're...
shake. You know, like hitting the buttons. So
you took it out on the blender.
Man,
oh, this how you feel.
Yeah,
Mommy, you can't punch
chop
the
up
buttons.
onions. You know, like, make you a healthy meal. Eat it, you know.
There ain't no love in this meal.
Man.
You just know that.
Right.
There's love in my heart, pain in these onions.
So it was, but it stretched me a lot in areas I think I needed to be stretched. So, and it helped me a lot with patience, because that's something that I was just, I had no more of.
For him?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's good.
That is good. That is what happens when people get divorced. They've run out of patience for this.
For the BS.
Because y'all have been, if we could be honest, y'all had been going through for a minute.
Yes.
And you had been through a lot.
Yes.
And I never thought of it as running out of patience for that. Like, when people call it quits, and whether that is say it's like you cheated on me and it just, my patience ran out quickly. Or there's just been like a nagging, like plotting thing for you. And you finally, like, had run out. Yeah. And then somehow this.
And so me leaving to Chicago was my patience. My basically, like, this ain't going, I need to leave in order for me to move in a better direction.
Either
or
way.
For us to,
So you didn't have a chance.
So patience to me was, now I'm gone, so like, if he pissed me off, I would hang up.
Got it.
You know, you're in each other's space. You can't necessarily always do that. Right. You know, or you know, I don't have to listen to you no more. No, you kind of do. You know, like no. Yeah. You know, and so
you can't really just pick up and come get in your face.
Right. And so then being back, because so what I did was at first, because they moved very quickly. I know he said that. But it was like, no, you need to go to start chemo now.
Right.
They gave him pills and stuff, and he would go and get shots, and he'd go home and take these pills, and then it would make him sick. And so I'm talking him off the ledge a lot. You know, when he was saying he would sit in the parking lot sometimes and not go in. And I'm like, no. You have, you know, he would be late and not care. And if you don't get up, you're talking about somebody being late. You know, because he'd be like, Puerto Rican, you late, you know. Right. And so and then he would sit, and I'd be like, on mute, because I get it. You know what I mean? I felt like I felt him through all of that. So it was hard to like go with him. I don't, you know, like, so it was, that having him go when I don't want him to go, like, I'm like, I get it. But when sometimes I remember even calling, like, I called you, I called Bishop before, called Kendall, like, okay, it's been 2 hours, you know what I mean? Or he went back home, Like, oh no, we finna call them. You know, like everyone. I'm like, I did everybody, lottie-dottie, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so that, because I would hear him and I'm like, it would hurt to hear like the pain, you know. So yeah, then it was like work-wise. I'm like, okay, I'm new here, you know what I mean? How am I going to be able to get to him and to, you know? And so I was like in my own head trying to concoct like the whole plan, okay? Because eventually I'm going to have to be, you know, his caregiver, and it's going to be time that I have to be there consistently. It's not, you know, so I started going to his appointments. Like I was flying back and forth every single weekend. Every weekend, like that's a lot. But everybody knew me. Airport, hey, I'm back, you know. Back and forth every weekend up until the whole transplant process. So it was that, and then finally telling my boss, which was, you know, God works in mysterious ways, but my boss, when I finally sat and talked to her, she had like 3 people, close members, her mom, her dad, her brother, like all passed with cancer and stuff, and so she went through all of that with them. She was a caregiver to 2 of them,
so
and
she understood.
She was like,
I get it.
And I'm like,
oh man, that really
take your computer and check in when you can. You know what I mean? I was getting paid hourly, so it was just like, just do your hours however you can do it, and all right, see you when you get back.
Oh, that's nice.
Heck yeah, so it was perfect, you know, and then so I'm not gonna keep going, but that was the process of hearing it, and like I went into like a different mode. I don't even know when it just like, okay, this is what we need to do, you know. And then Kayla even went before me, because she was like, I just need to see him, and I'll know if he's really okay, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know. And for him and her, it was big for me, because I'm like, she was like, you know, and for her to go, it was just like, on your own, you know. And she went, and then when she came back, she's like, no, Mom, he needs you. Like he's not eating, he's not doing this and that, he's not taking care of himself, you know, nobody else is gonna help him, you know. And I'm like, okay, you know. So it was okay.
Do you want to break there?
Sure.
So we're going to take a break here and tell you about Liss's book club. That is a private book club that I have on Facebook. You can join. We'll leave the link to join in the description box. Shout out to all of my book club blues. In the book club, we pick a book generally from Audible. They are a partner and sponsor of the podcast. I love Audible because they have tons and tons of titles available for you to audio listen to. It's flexible. There's tons of titles. They have free returns. You pick a book, you love it, you keep it, you don't, you return it. It's just very, very convenient for women and mothers on the go. We have read books such as Rachel Hollis' Girl Stop Apologizing. I have read Michelle Obama's Becoming. Last month we read Elaine Walteroff's More Than Enough, which is an amazing book. You absolutely should audio listen to it with Audible. If you're interested in joining Audible, start listening with a 30-day Audible trial and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible Originals for free. Visit audible.com/lovehour or text LOVEHOUR to 500-500. Start listening today with your 30-day Audible trial and your first audiobooks plus 2 Audible Originals for free. All you have to do is visit audible.com/lovehour or text LOVEHOUR to 500-500. Please remember that text messaging and data rates may apply. We also want to tell you about Noom. As Kevin said, he is always in the process of trying to lose weight. It's just an overall goal
forever,
of
my
his.
gravy.
And Noom is great because it teaches you what you're doing on the inside, how you control your mental thinks, the narrative you tell yourself, the thoughts that you tell yourself, the inner voice is just as important to diet.
Yes.
The inner voice is just as important to working out.
Yes.
Being able to get your mind on one accord with what you want to do on the outside is generally the first step to change.
I need to love myself first. No good food is bad food.
What?
I gotta have a good relationship with myself, then I can have a good relationship with food. Noom
Yes.
helps me with that.
Yes, actually that's true. With Noom, no food is good, bad, or off limits. Noom teaches moderation and can be used in conjunction with many pre-existing popular diets if you want. The app is so amazing, so convenient, and easy. You don't have to change it all in one day. Small steps make big progress. Sign up for your trial today at Noom. That's Noom.com/lovehour. What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/lovehour to start your trial today. Again, that's Noom.com/lovehour. The last weight loss program you will ever need. Okay, so let's talk about, Tami, after the diagnosis. And actually, that was a really good tidbit that I think I did think about during the time, but I kind of forgot about in this space, and that juggling how this is going to look like with your job. Recognizing that it was a new job. You guys are in different states, and you're going to have to negotiate with your job being a caretaker and being away for how long? 3 months?
Yeah.
In a whole different state, and like having a job that's flexible and allowing you to do that is that's heaven sent, to be honest. So you're there, you're in North Carolina as primary caretaker.
Well, he was, I'm going to say this, even before the diagnosis, we were cool. You know, we went from, when I first left, it was all hell, broke loose. But then we got to a place, like he was even visiting. Like we got to a good place, and then so the communication was up. So, you know, when he found out throughout that process, it was good. And then for me going there, being
so
there.
then, do you feel like retrospectively looking at it, that through the course of the communication getting better, the relationship repairing itself, getting better, that you were in the path to getting back together before the diagnosis?
What you about to say? I wouldn't say all that.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Were you at a stalemate?
Or you were just in a good space?
We were in a good space.
But not necessarily like we're going to get back together, but we're just relationally, we're in a good space.
Right. Like we weren't there yet. Not like that wasn't going to happen, or that wasn't, we were just like getting back in a good place together. Yeah. Spending time together, like getting back in a good place.
Okay. So then the diagnosis happens. Do you think that beyond the diagnosis, you're now a primary caretaker? At what point do you realize there's like a shift? Or do you guys have a conversation? Like, I want to get back with you. Because eventually Jason moves. So, like, walk us through that.
It's hard to, I can explain the process, the daily, taking care of him process, because I had to we rented
Airbnb.
An Airbnb. It wasn't an Airbnb, but it was through the hospital. So it's like the hospital, you have to rent it, but it's like the process through the hospital has to be within a certain amount of distance from the hospital, because anything happens, I have to take him right away to the hospital, which we had to do once, which sucked. But his temperature gets high, if he gets sick, if anything happens, we have to. So you're very close to the hospital, and so the hospital is far from his parents' house, too far. Otherwise it could have been.
It's like 2 hours or something like that. We did the drive.
It's like an hour, like 40 minutes or something like that. So, well, it's like, a little over an hour. It's supposed to be like less than 30 minutes away. So, that process, we were in the hospital most of the day. He's getting chemo, and then I go home, and everything like his eating, everything he has to eat he had a very strict diet, and you know, I had to clean not just soap and water fruits, like I had to get like veggie wash. It was very, you know, you have to go,
Meticulous.
classes and you know, and so I'm doing the meals, like I had him on like a schedule, like we would eat, sleep, I'm cooking dinner, like it was, you know, when he sleep, I'm working, you know, like stuff like that. So, yeah, I lost my train of thought, but okay. So we go through that, and then during that process, I think it really makes you think about what's important and what's not, and what's real and what's not, and you know, you kind of like get out of your own way,
right?
You know, so that's really what was happening. It wasn't a conversation, or I mean, we had a lot of just quiet moments, you know what I mean, because I swear we were in a quiet room and it was the loudest room in the world, you know. So it wasn't like a conversation. I think we both were just like, this is more important, you know.
You
like,
and I.
Well, yeah, our life, you know, like, man, yeah. So that stuff was nothing mattered to me at that point, you know. Not you send the kids. It's you and him all the time, and you're watching this person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. Okay, next question.
I have a question.
Tam's not feeling her feelings all the way.
No, she's not. That's
She's
okay.
holding up
She's
a wall.
holding all this stuff back, and it's allowing me not to cry. So
I agree. But I have this
You're
question.
welcome.
How do you have naysayers? Do you have friends or family? I can think of one person in particular, actually. That was like a naysayer, or I don't know, I'll let you speak. And then how do you, if they're like, you guys are in a bad space, you don't owe him nothing, don't do nothing, like that's on him now, you guys are headed down a path to divorce. Like, how do you navigate that?
Ooh. So,
Don't say names. I mean, I know you know. Okay.
I wouldn't, okay.
say their handle on Twitter so we can attack them.
I wouldn't say, okay, so when he got diagnosed, I had gotten to a point already when I moved to Chicago, certain things that I was not going to do anymore. And one of them was letting family in too much. I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
So, because throughout the process, you're good, you're not, you're good, you're not, and they're still not, and you're good, and they're not, and you're good, and they're not, and you know, and then they become the naysayers. You know what I mean? And then, you know, that will mess a lot of stuff up. And I learned that the hard way. So, so when he first got diagnosed, I was already in a space of not telling them, certain family members, like certain things, period. So I'm in Chicago and they're like, so when is Jason coming? And you know, stuff like that. And it's just like,
I don't know.
No,
I don't look at calendars no more.
I literally was just like, we're not having these discussions.
Right.
Oh, you really said that?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. I was like, I should not have told you certain things.
That's good.
And from now on, I'm not. And you don't have to like it. Don't call me. But this is where I'm at. And it was just like, people were pissed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like, I had to do it.
So you basically had to reset the boundaries that you shouldn't have done.
That's
or you
good.
shouldn't have opened up before.
And it's
harder to reset boundaries than to keep them together.
It is. You have to train them because it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
You can say all that and they're like, okay. And then they
Yeah.
call
And they
again.
try again.
Yeah. And then
That's
I moved
good,
back
Tammy.
home. So
Chicago meaning home.
yes.
Or home meaning Chicago.
So I moved to their territory.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
come over.
be away.
Have some plátanos.
Being away it's different. I can hang the phone up, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they
saying?
pulling up.
Or I'm going to family members' house all the time. Like on my way home, I pass my aunt's house, would eat and then go home and eat again because I'm like, I need all the food. So I was, and then it's questions. Yeah, the questions and but I would say more so than anything, my dad's side of the family wasn't privy to a lot of my life. They were the ones that they weren't necessarily involved as much.
Right.
So they were just like, when's Jason coming? They were more cool, so the questions and that stuff, it took a while for them to, okay, she's serious.
Yeah.
And so they'll tiptoe around certain questions,
Got it, yeah.
and I will tiptoe the answer right back, and so, but it was now they don't do that,
You train them.
Yeah. So it's different, but yeah, it was just they'll throw out, just be careful and stuff like that, but they wouldn't get into how they used to be like, you need,
right.
It wasn't like that anymore,
That's funny because I have been like that with my family members too.
What do you mean?
You don't take the good, you take good news, like, oh, that's good, but the bad parts about them, you keep that, like, because it's like, that's my brother and that's my sister. I've known them, like my sister, I've known her whole life, literally her whole life. She has no memory of me not being there. So she has an issue with her husband. I am her protective older brother. So even if he ain't, her and her husband are cool, I'm like, for now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's unfair, but there's no other way. Your natural human disposition of your family is the same. Melissa's the same way.
I was about to
with
say,
her
to be
sisters.
honest, I am the exact same way.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah.
We want to be protective over our
I'm that
family,
way,
especially of your siblings, because your parents instill that in you. Make sure your little brother's okay. Make sure y'all, even if you're older, make sure y'all stick together.
Yeah.
Even on the playground, and that translates into life. If you have a good relationship with your siblings, that never changes. So when you come to them for things that have gone wrong, that protection is. Let me make sure you're okay, and then when things are good, you're like, okay, I don't know how good they are. She wouldn't tell me if they were okay, so let me I'm gonna just keep checking.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. Speaking of sticking together, we have partnered with MeUndies, and you and your spouse can stick together in your underwear.
And me and Lissa be matching drawers and socks.
They have such fun, they have classic, colors if you're not into, a whole bunch of different things. But they have such fun themed socks and underwear. They have summer themed socks and underwears. They have some with, pineapples. They have, I have MeUndies socks on right now. This is under the sea, I think.
Yes.
That's Ariel's father on here. It's very.
And I have the same drawers as those socks.
So
Lissa go full corniness.
I know. I've said this story before, but literally, we were somewhere in the airport, and I just dawned on me that Kevin and I had matching underwear on, and I was like, Kevin, our underwear match.
But more important than the matching is the comfort.
Yeah,
we be matching them because they are so comfortable.
They're 3 times softer than boring old cotton. They feel like baby clothes, just that really soft, comfortable material. They're made with micromodal fabric, which again is 3 times softer than boring old cotton. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. Listen, these are great gifts for weddings and for anniversaries. Yes. They're fun,
great fun. And as fun as they are, but let me be clear.
They're comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah, they are.
But they are fun.
I wear these socks almost every day.
They're cool.
It's a big factor for
Yeah.
Big factor.
Because cotton's a breathable fabric.
Breathable. It's like somebody.
Well, they use micromodal fabric, but it's breathable. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase any MeUndies product, you get 15% off and free shipping. To get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/LoveHour. That's MeUndies.com/LoveHour. You will get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, plus 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to MeUndies.com/LoveHour. Again, that's MeUndies.com/LoveHour. We love these, and they're just a lot of fun. Okay, so did you want to say anything else? Did you want to piggyback off anything that Jason said in his episode?
Man, I should have wrote it down. You'd say stuff, I'm like, wow. I don't know.
Where do you find the state of your relationship now? Are you thankful? And I use the word thankful, meaning like, now that we're over that hump, I'm grateful for this experience because it's allowed us to be in this space. Not that you would wish sickness or cancer on someone.
No.
Okay.
I can say it was, I think, it's funny how God works, but who knows where we would be if that didn't happen, because it literally brought us back together in a space where otherwise we would not be. You know, we
Is your relationship wholly different before? Like your togetherness today is different than...
Yeah, we're still growing, but yes. So like, we had to be in a confined space together.
You mean in the apartment?
Yes, when we went to
After the transplant?
During the transplant.
Okay.
And so I had to work through many emotions all at once.
Can you give us an example of those emotions? I'm trying to help you. You're being vague.
So while throughout the transplant, like I told you, he would trigger stuff, and I'd be like, man, I'm gonna walk out. Right?
So I'm gonna color this a little bit.
Okay.
Jason is stubborn. Jason is, the doctor says you need to do this, this, and this. Jason doesn't want to do those things. So now Tami is stuck playing the bad guy, trying to force him to do things that he doesn't want to do. I don't know what else you mean. I'm trying to like fill in those whole.
But it was all that, along with our issues.
Okay.
Period. So I'm working through my stuff being separated, because like I would tell him, you need to go to therapy. I'm going to therapy. I don't need it. You need to go to therapy. You know, like, and so you're working through all of this stuff, and now it's like, pause, go here with this person that you have not worked all these things out with.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And help him. So it's
That's a
like
test.
That is tough.
So it's
you literally have to do this, or he will suffer.
Right.
Do you feel like the wifely, I don't want to say wifely duties because it's a Nacho Libre reference.
Right.
But do you feel like the wife in you that maybe as you guys are being separated is becoming less of your relationship? Do you feel like when that happened, the wife part of you came back?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if me and Melissa were good and I get sick, there's nothing she has to pull from. But Tami, the wife, had fallen down way in your pecking order.
Right.
And did Tami, Tami the wife coming back make you think about Tami the wife as far as love? Not because Tami the wife caregiver came back, but not necessarily Tami the wife lover.
Right. Well, that came in time. I was, we were separated. So to me, we were not divorced. And when it came to caring now for him and like I felt like it was full on I don't feel like I don't know that there, I don't think there was a, like you're saying, the transition it just happened. Like
There
it was like,
no question.
I'm here, this is what it is.
Right.
Yes, this is my husband. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Right.
What do I do?
But y'all just arguing. Not today, we ain't though.
Mhm.
This is my husband.
No, it literally was like that. Like,
But
it was
that's in
almost
the
like
presence of
a
others.
step didn't happen. Nothing changed
Oh,
when it
got
came to that. It
yeah.
was just like, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Not like, okay, I have to do this, and it just happened. It was because I don't feel like I was ever not his wife anymore.
Right.
Were you dormant? Do you feel like those feelings were dormant, or you just were separated?
What do you mean?
Like the wife feel like, did that separation cause?
When you say the wife, but what do you mean specifically? Because I think what Tami is saying is we were separated, but I was always his wife. I think that's what she's saying. Like, regardless of that separation, I was always his wife. So when he says he's sick, there's nothing to re-pull. There's nothing to garner. There's nothing to grab. It's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's there with tons more emotion because I was trying to program myself I was trying to separate myself mentally, and emotionally.
Separate yourself how? What do you mean?
When we separated, I was working on that. I was working on me emotionally, mentally separating. It wasn't something like, we're separated now, do you, boo? Mm-hmm. You could say that, but mentally, emotionally, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
And so I was literally in that process of separating all of that.
Got it.
And, then it's like, no, just kidding. Now let's go back to that.
Got it.
And so I just went into that mode, like, just taking care of him, just doing what what I was normally doing. It's not hard for me to care and to do that. So when you say like the love and all of that part, while I'm caring for him, that stuff started coming. Like, you think about death. Like, now what are my kids? What are we gonna do? Stuff like that. That's what I thought about. Like, you need to. I can't lose you.
Right.
I can't. So get up.
Right.
And he would be like, I can't today, Dad. Says who? No, you're getting up. We're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this. Because it's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? You would make me do it. And so I couldn't. It's like, I don't know what I would do.
Right.
Like, part of me, like, everything he went through, we went through. Like, it was very hard. Like, I'd make sure he's in the bed and I'd go in the other room and just be like, it was hard. Like, I felt everything, and seeing him deteriorate was like it for me. Like, I didn't care about anything else. I didn't, the kids it was like, take care of my kids. You know what I mean? I can't right now.
Yeah.
I had to give like everything, into making sure he made it. This is our trial period. You have to pass this test.
Right.
Because we have a lot more we haven't done. We have a lot more we need to work on.
Right.
We need to get, and it was literally that, like, right now, this is what we need to do. And, every day waking him up and doing all of these things, it was like helping us, our marriage as well, but it was our future, it was our kids. It was, to me, it was more than that, because what then what? I go back home to Chicago, and my life, like I said, I was always still married.
Yeah. I could see you putting all that work in, like, and we ain't separated no more.
Yeah.
We did now. We gonna work through that other stuff too.
I heard you say something that made me think about this. Do you think that okay, you jump back into your mode. Oh, no, let me take a step back. You're working on you. Mentally, spiritually, physically, all of those things. You're going through your process. You guys are separated. You are working on what it means to be Tami. Okay. You get sick, you jump back into that mode, you're back in it. Do you ever have a moment where you realize, though, or I don't know, maybe realize, what I don't want to do, I'm here. I want to be here. I'll always be here. I'm here to help you get through this. This is what I need to do. This is what you need to do. I'm here for that. But I also want to be cognizant of not going back into the toxicity of our relationship prior. Do you ever have a moment of recognizing, like, I am your wife, I'm here for this, and as he gets better, like the transplant is done, you guys have moved out of the hospital appointed apartment, and then you're like, you're here, he's, getting his strength back, and you guys are now starting to work on becoming, you did go back, and now you guys are working on becoming us again, but you're like, but what I'm not gonna do is what that was. I'm not going back.
Absolutely. I mean, we're in therapy now, but like, we went through that because I wanted therapy even throughout the marriage, and he didn't want to, and then when he got to the point of wanting it, I was like, it's too late. You're reaching. You're trying. You don't
grasping at straws.
Yeah, and no, But then we went through this, and then I went back, and I was like, oh my God, now what? And I was like, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be okay. I got him good. He's back at his, he was living with his parents back at home, and he's on a schedule. I'm going back home. And it was like, okay, business as usual,
right? Or
you know what I mean? Like, now
what does that mean? What does that look like, right?
And then he shows up at Chicago. Now he wasn't supposed to travel. He was not supposed to travel. He was not supposed to fly for 6 months. But he even traveling, of course, he's not supposed to drive. He literally drove himself, got in a car by himself, and drove from North Carolina to Chicago. And I felt that. I felt it. I'm like, something. He's not at home, something,
What's going on?
And when he just showed up at the door, and he didn't look well, and he was tired, and I was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, I just wanted to see my family. We can come for the weekend or something. Like, are you kidding me? And it was just, then it was like, okay, like, here, and I'm trying to make myself whole again.
Right.
You still have part of me. I need that back. I have to get myself right before I can worry about us or worry about anything else, because I am not in the good yet, so I was a little frustrated because I wanted to get myself good. I wanted to get back in a good space, but then we started to do little therapies, and then finally when we found the real and did the real, it was like I felt like I have a voice, because we have someone you like, someone I like, what I'm not gonna do, who I'm not anymore, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you're serious about this,
these are the parameters.
This is going to take work.
Right.
You don't just say, and so that's, yeah. And stay tuned. Like, we're literally working through it, but we are completely different people now. Completely different people. I am not the same person, and neither is he. You know, but it took all of that because that back then, if he got that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
If he got diagnosed and all of that back then, in the midst of all hell breaking loose, I would have gone back home and been like, "You good now? All right, partner.
All right, my boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you."
Like,
done.
It took all that we went through and where we're at, and then this happening for us to grow.
Right. I hear that.
It wouldn't have been
otherwise. Kev, do you have something you want to say? Why were you laughing
when
she was talking about what it's not going to be, what it is going to be?
Because I just feel like it's when Tam was earlier in their marriage, she was more submissive, complacent, and just like you, Melissa 2.0, it's like Tammy 2.0. It's like, nah, bro.
I think
that part where that patience ran out, that person ran out. You know what I mean?
had no more to give.
Yeah. So, and it's now, I feel like now when she talks, it's more like, even when I see their interactions, it's the same thing with me and you. Like, stuff that you used to let slide, don't be sliding no more. Same thing with Tam. And it's like, if you want this to continue on this way, I'm just like laughing at like, oh shoot, like, no, this is going to be how it's going to be, or it ain't going to be. And it sounds like I've come to grips with that.
Right.
So you can do this on my terms now, because we tried it your way.
Right.
And your way got us to almost the brink. And if it's going to be done, it's because now you see her who's in therapy. She ain't never changed that. Yeah. So what's up? Pot, and calling him partner just because partner is so like, my boy, I'm gonna see y'all. Say hi to your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was laughing. It's also a defense mechanism. So when I have other feelings, I just say laughing.
I'm thinking about doing an episode with, I don't know if I want another woman with me, if it'll just be like me by myself, where I'm talking about the process of being, I was talking to my sister about this, and it kind of piggybacks off what you were just saying, and part of the reason I asked that question. Being raised in a independent woman type, all the women is independent, no scrubs.
You and Mel will be great.
Growing up in that, and not just like, I was much older by then. I also just grew up with a dad who was like, make sure you know how to change a tire. Make sure you know how to change your oil. Make sure you know how to drive a stick shift. Make sure you know how to back into a parking space. Make sure you know how to take care of your finances. Make sure you don't need nobody for nothing.
Make sure you know how to fight.
All of these things. Don't join the military. You need to go out and get your book smarts. But we weren't in the kitchen. We were get an education and get a good job and be able to take care of yourself.
Sure you know how to take care of
yourself with without a man.
Yes.
Make sure you know how to take care of yourself. And then you couple that with
now I have to depend on you.
Well, not just that. You couple that like specifically, like very specifically with like church culture and being submissive. You couple that with the stereotypes of, I don't know how to be, black women don't know how to be submissive, women of color don't know how to be submissive, black women emasculate their man, you couple that with that, and I get into this, for me, in the our relationship, and I feel like I have to pull that back.
You're torn between the two. Being submissive and being independent
don't coexist.
No,
it's independent.
And so you pull that back, but by doing that, you also lose your voice. You end up losing part of yourself. So trying to reconcile the two where they can coexist is difficult.
And seeing Jason say that, I was like, saying how, he wouldn't have been able to get through, and how I remember us going through having a moment where before I went out there was a lot of triggers, that's a big word, but there was a lot of things that I was so mad, and I would call him sometimes and be like, why this and that, and he was going through taking his pills and his chemo stuff, and I just lost it one day, and he literally was so mad, like, don't talk to me anymore. I'm going through all this stuff. You don't even care. And then I'm like, okay. And then he called like, do you think I'm going to be able to get through this without you? You're wrong. I need you. You didn't tell me not to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But then to go to hearing him saying he couldn't have done all of this, to going through, now we're in therapy. Listen, you see my value. Now. You see where we're at and what I've brought, and how you can't go through this without you. Treat me as such. And then you go through the therapy and you go through the things, and when I see him trying and we're working through things and actually doing the things, not saying it and leaving therapy like, but really it's like, okay, now I'm going to try to and give, you know, because I was very guarded. So growth is stretching a lot. Man.
Anything else?
No.
Okay.
It was good. I thought I was gonna be worse.
No, it was good.
You
You held back a lot.
But I helped Kev not cry.
I was ready to cry. I was ready to go there.
Yesterday, he cried the entire episode. If
I was crying the whole. I was going ready to take a nap after the cry.
Boo-hooed. Kev do the other cry.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of the Love Hour. Thank you so much to our sponsors, MeUndies, Audible, Noom, and ShipStation. All of the information for them will be in the description box. And last but not least, that's it. Love Hour Conference is coming next year in 2020. And that's it, y'all. Bye.
Bye.